We're doing Texas style beef back ribs. Hey, I'm James from Smokin' Dad Barbecue, and if you saw my kitchen reveal, you already know I have some warranty work. That's exactly what's going on, why the Kamado Joe Classic is out of place today. So we will be doing today's cook hot and fast using the double indirect method on the Kamado Joe Big Joe. If you've not seen my other videos where I developed this double indirect method, let me bring up to speed in 30 seconds or less. So all that involves is everything that's in the title. We're going to use both the slow roller and the heat deflectors. And so why would you want to do this? Well, what it's going to do is just encourage a cleaner burning fire. So we're actually burning much hotter down below in order to reach the same temperature up top. And this has already proven a real winner with every cook I've thrown at it. I've done some baby back ribs this way, as well as a brisket. And there's just no replacement for clean blue smoke and burning these hotter, faster temperatures without scorching the bottom with the protection of the double indirect method has been a real game changer. If you've not tried it yet, I'd encourage you to give it a go, and I promise you won't be disappointed. So let me bring you nice and close. Let me show you how we're going to set up for today's cook, and we're about ready to get these on. I'm banking on about a 3-hour cook at these temperatures. We're going to be aiming for about 320, 330 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll see where we land. So to get started, I just emptied out the Joe like always, starting with a bit of leftover charcoal, placed one piece of smoking wood on the bottom, and started to cover that up with any leftover coals before adding some fresh big block. Using my grill torch, I want to get a nice hot fire in the center. That's really going to encourage those coals to ember up and burn down to make sure that we activate that smoke wood. I don't want to start just a gentle fire and have it wander off and not get anywhere close to the smoking wood. So I'm spending some time to really concentrate that BTU force of my grill torch right down towards the hot center. Speaking of the grill torch, I wanted to pass along some information. They've been a fan of the channel for a year now, and they've offered you guys a save 10% code. So I'll put the details down below. As you know, if you've been following me for any amount of time, I've been a huge fan of the grill torch and use it now for the last year on almost every cook that we do, especially for things like this where we want to really be able to control our burn direction. After that, I'm just going to install the base of the slow roller and the divide and conquer rack and let that start to come up to temperature until my dome passes the hand test, which is where I don't want to hold my hand there for more than a second or so. Once we reach that point, I can drop in the rest of the slow roller assembly. I'm going to go in the second level of the divide and conquer rack with my X accessory ring, and that'll allow me to drop in the heat deflector plate. So I'm getting a bit of an air gap between the top of the slow roller and those deflector plates. The deflector plates are able to hold my smokeware large stainless steel drip pan. It doesn't quite fit in the Kamado Joe Classic 3 in this setup, so I've had to use a flatter tray, but there's more than enough space in the Big Joe, so I'm able to use my large drip pan to help keep the smoke just what's coming from the wood and not any of those drippings hitting the deflector plates and burning, putting off any bad white smoke. And then I've installed my grids right on top of that. We're going to wait till we see around that 300 to 350 degree temperature in the dome. When we do, that is our sign to go ahead and start adjusting our vent. So I'm going to go down to 2 fingers width on the bottom draft door, and I'm going to leave the top vent all the way open, which has been going now for about 5 minutes behind me in this position, and we are stable right at about, looks like 340 degrees Fahrenheit. So I might just adjust this a little bit towards the third line to hold that 330, 340, but right now it's looking perfect. So let's grab our ribs and get them on the grill. All right, let's get these on the grill. Go right in the center here. Looks good. Our rub has tacked up. I was a little short on some of my seasonings today, so I'm going with Terry Black's own Texas style rub for our beef back ribs. I think it'll complement it great. It's largely what I would make anyway, so we're salt, pepper, garlic. I think they add some celery seed, paprika, and maybe a few chili flakes, but other than that, it's very similar to the Casa Smokin' Dad rub, so I think that'll be a perfect complement to these beef ribs. Let's get the dome closed and let these hang out for an hour before we check on them for the first time. We are 1 hour in, and I decided for a quick change of plans. And so it's a beautiful day. I don't know if you can see that coming through on camera. And we just got our groceries. So I decided to switch to doing a mop sauce. I think it's going to really complement this Texas style beef back rib that we're doing today. And so I've used this recipe before on some other meals and I've really liked it. I picked it up from Chud's Barbecue, so credit to him. We're not going to deviate far from the course, so we're just going to whip that up and let that simmer down. And while we're working on our sauce, I'm going to take the opportunity to flip our ribs. So we're going to go meat side down for an hour, and then we'll get ready to start mopping them in foil with our mop sauce to finish them off for that last hour. Let me bring you nice and close and show you how we're going to make our sauce. So we're going to start off with some onion and garlic and butter. Wait for about 5 minutes until they start to get nice and soft and tender. Now we're going to add in juice of a lime, some hot sauce, some Worcestershire, some garlic powder to go with our actual garlic cloves that we have in there, some chili powder, some cumin, some mustard powder, and some ketchup. Mix. And then some beer just to thin it out. Turn up the heat a bit and let that reduce down. All right, we are 2 hours in and these are putting off an incredible aroma. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start mopping for the next hour to build up our flavor profile and layers. So while I have them upside down, let me just grab our sauce, leave it in the Joe the whole time. We're gonna mop the bottom, and then from here on out, I'll just mop the top. Let those hang out. We'll check every 15 minutes or so, and we'll keep adding layers. All right, we are getting close to the 3 hour mark, and I think we are close to done. So we're sitting around 188, 189. It feels like we could use just a little bit more. So the game plan is I'm just going to add some of our mop solution to some foil, wrap these up, and throw them back on. All right, we are about the 3.5 hour mark, and I think based on the temperature we were probing these, when we put them in the foil, we'll be close to done. Let's just give these a feel. Oh yeah, that's not breaking apart. It's darn close. So what I'm gonna do now, just take these off, let them rest, leave them in foil, and we'll be ready to slice them up in about 30 minutes time. All right, it's been about half an hour and the smells coming out of this, I can't take it any longer. So we're gonna rip the foil off here and get ready to serve these up, do our taste test. But before I do that, just a quick mention, as I think I forgot to call it out earlier, we have been bone side up, meat side down the entire time while it was on the grill, while it was resting. And that's just so that the mop sauce, as well as any of that expelled rendered fat, is able to help braise the meat and soften it. If we were to leave them bone side down, that's a natural heat shield that's protecting the meat from overcooking, which is great when we're pulling off our hot and fast smoke session on the grill, but not so effective at really tenderizing the meat. So that's why we went flesh side down for that last little bit, including the rest. So let me go fast forward, we'll get these out, get ready to slice them up and do our taste test. These look and smell mega, so let's get to slicing. So these bones were coming out like Jenga pieces when it's leaning to the opposite side. So easy. I can't wait to try it. So I've cut every other bone so we end up with a little bit of extra meat. There's not a lot of meat on top or the bottom of the bone. Since there's 4 in our family, this works out great. Everybody will get their piece. I've already got mine picked out. So let's go ahead, do our taste test. I'm going to show you here quickly some of that smoke ring coming through. Maybe this side's even better. You can just see that double indirect method throwing some great clean smoke to get that, and this bark is awesome. So let's go ahead, take a bite. Ribeye on a stick, cooked till it is fall apart tender. We got to do that again, hang on. Wow, I need to gather my thoughts and we'll do a quick summary of what we learned. So that is just the perfect amount of kick. So we ended up adding that entire bottle of hot sauce. You can dial it down if it's a little bit too spicy for you, but for our family, this is on the money. And so this is 3 for 3, where we've done the double indirect method and had amazing results. And I'm absolutely sold. I can't see myself going back away from this method now, where you're just getting that clean smoke. It's really hard to describe. I've used this analogy before. Bad smoke is easy to tell. It's as if there's been some rainfall, you go out into the forest and you lick a tree. That is what dirty, bad smoke tastes like. Whereas good, clean smoke, everybody who has it loves it. It's nice, it's bright, it's clean. It's mostly sweet in terms of the aroma and the taste that you get from it. If you're not getting that, most likely you maybe have too much smoking wood, you're not getting good smoke. And I have a couple videos dedicated to that. If that's an area that you're struggling, where maybe you have a family member or yourself where you taste that and you're like, I'm not quite sure I'm happy with that smoke. But the double indirect method is allowing us to get that nice, clean smoke. And it is so worth it for a result like this. Anyways, I hope you really enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider joining me. I now have launched channel memberships and or subscribing to catch future videos. But until next time, don't be afraid to fire it up and let YouTube know you love this video by smashing the thumbs up button. I'm James from Smokin' Dad Barbecue, signing off. We'll see you then.